Did you know we provide a help desk at bitcoinbasics.help? Do you need help buying Bitcoin on an exchange or transferring your Satoshis to a Bitcoin wallet? Perhaps you need assistance with setting up a desktop, mobile, or hardware wallet. Is your security hygiene up to date? We provide individual, one-on-one support regardless of your understanding of Bitcoin, size of investment, or level of technical ability. Visit bitcoinbasics.help. Welcome to Bitcoin Basics with your hosts Faris and Gordon. Visit bitcoinbasics.help if you need help buying and securing your Bitcoin.
For anyone listening, this episode is visually intensive, so visit bitcoinbasics.help for all our video platforms. We use TradingView, which is free to set up an account for all our charts. So check out our Bitcoin recommended products and services while you're at bitcoinbasics.help.
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the Bitcoin Basics podcast. Today is a Bitcoin and markets episode where we're going to have a look at the week that was. So the week that ended the 1st of August, it is, time of recording, it is 1 a.m. UTC time on the 2nd of August, so just an hour after the weekly markets closed. So we'll go through what we did last week. So last week we basically said we need a Bitcoin to hold at 30,000 and there was a key line resistance just above 35K. If we have a look at the charts, Bitcoin broke through 35 very convincingly, did not hold back. So we are looking at a weekly chart here. We actually identified at time of recording that a signal that we got was a double Bollinger Band. It broke through the lower band, and we indicated that that actually was a trigger to go long. So our subscribers were pretty happy with us getting in at 35K and just seeing it go. So on a weekly chart, this looks really healthy, this bar. It would have been great if we closed above 40,000, especially above 41,400. That would have been nice. Right now, the key levels that we really need to hold are 36,000. So it's 36,000, 35.5 level. Ideally it'd be great if we retested that and bounced off. That would be nice if it held. This blue line that you're seeing here, this is a 52-week moving average. So this is the average price of the previous 52 weeks. The reason I do that is in most markets, they have an average, say 200 days, because 200 days is about how many trading days you would have in your commodity currency markets when you take into account weekends and public holidays. But Bitcoin does not sleep. So this 52-week average, it's just a point of reference. I find it interesting that we actually bounced right on that. We dipped below it, but we never closed below it. The last time we closed below that was going back to March of 2020. And yeah, that's, as I said, that's not a trading signal for me. I don't trade off moving averages. They are latent, but it's pretty interesting to see that. Since we had a month close, if we look at the month for Bitcoin, we had a really good month. So we have higher highs and higher lows. So it's looking really, really healthy here. If you're a trader, your stop loss would be below 28,400. And yeah, that's looking quite nice and healthy. So I quite like this chart. We went up really big, guys, from, where'd we go? From below 12,000 to a high of 65,000 in 7 or 8 months. That is just insane. So I'm glad we've had this correction. And this is what Bitcoin does. If you're new to this space, it goes up and it's very volatile, but it's very volatile on the way up. And as we persistently encourage our listeners to do and our viewers to do, please dollar cost average. Don't try and trade. It will eliminate a lot of stress, and most importantly means you're not losing your Bitcoin. So just buy what you can afford and don't look at the price. But these videos are popular and people keep asking that we do them.
If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe, like, and share so we can find others like yourself.
The other one we looked at was Ethereum Bitcoin. So Bitcoin versus USD was a call we got correctly, or Bitcoin versus fiat. This was a call that did not pay out. We looked at Ethereum if it was going to break below this lower trend line here. So I don't like to trade off trend lines on their own, but if they're part of a pattern, then we will. So this triangle here looked like we're going to break below and head much lower. It didn't. It actually bounced and has since recovered. So this pattern is moot. So we would have gotten stopped out on this trade at 0.063 is where we would have gotten stopped out on this trade already for a 1 hour loss on that one. And when we look at how Ethereum has reversed, you can see that in the Bitcoin dominant index. So this is not something that you can trade. This is just Bitcoin, the percentage of funds going into Bitcoin versus other cryptocurrencies. And it went really low at one point. We mentioned that, but then we saw it was on the way back up. And if we held and closed and held above 48%, we thought we were going much higher. We had a decent peak above it and it didn't close below. So yeah, I mean, if this plays out, you'd say that Ethereum can reverse and go lower compared to Bitcoin. Another one we looked at was Binance. So this is the Binance token. This is a weekly chart, and we said this was a nice looking candle. It closed above 300, and you, as a trader, you have your stop loss at about 250. So it was actually a good week for Binance last week, up to it went up above more than 10% in 1 week. So that one's looking pretty decent as well. And Ethereum USD is the other one that we looked at. We said that was a potential right angle triangle playing out. And that's broken above that. So this was a healthy trade as well. So, I mean, Ethereum did follow Bitcoin. So we see this is a weekly candle. And if you bought at the breakout, 2,200 above that level, stop loss would have been down here. So it's quite a wide stop loss, but these are weekly charts. So that is quite healthy. So Ethereum versus USD is looking good, as is Bitcoin and Binance. The other markets we looked at that looked pretty, we said US oil was a healthy looking candle to buy off. So we had this where it's potentially this long wick down here, where what that could be is chasing stop losses. So if you are going long and you have an order in place to sell, that means it's a stop, or it could be a short, but unlikely. So what that does is they'll see your orders in the system and they'll go after them. They'll sell just to buy it cheaper and know that you're out of system, and then buy it to get you out of the way. So I actually thought that would have been a higher day, but we do have quite a few. We had this infrastructure bill going through the U.S. So when there's big news like that, markets get a bit timid. And we did see this across the board. I'll jump across to the Dow Jones Industrial Average. It was a really, really quiet week. So we saw here not much happened. If we do go above this line here of 35,000 for the Dow Jones, I think we're going to go significantly higher. But it was just a quiet week, and I think it was due to, the Delta variant for COVID getting worse around the world, and the infrastructure bill set to pass in the U.S. Same for silver, as we can see that quite an indecisive week, up high and low. We still have this right angle ascending triangle here. So if we break above 28.3 for silver, we're going significantly higher, I think. And with the US dollar, there wasn't much interest going around. The Australian and the Kiwi New Zealand dollar were the ones that looked like they had more downside. We'd missed the Australian dollar trade. We had this head and shoulder formation up here, and we're hoping that it could bounce and retest 75 cents, and then we'd short. But it did, 74.11. Didn't go much higher than that. So potentially more downside for the Australian dollar versus the US dollar. But yeah, Bitcoin was the main story. Really, really nice, healthy looking week. Ideally, what we need here is we need this level at 35 or 36 to hold right here. So where we had all this congestion, we need that level to hold. So 35,500, we need it to hold. And then the next point of resistance on a weekly chart will be as we get back to 50K. Nice big round number, even though it's been dealt with. There was a lot of congestion in and around 50K. So people that bought there saw Bitcoin go from, 68,000 all the way back down to 28,000 will be a bit weary, and they'll probably want to get out of break even. So hopefully we can see it go up, probably take a pause at around 50K, and then break through again. And then we'd be looking at the next point of resistance, which was all-time highs at 60, just below 65. So that's what I'm hoping to see. We just have a bit of consolidation as we get towards, or go up towards 50K, consolidate a little bit, break through 50K, and keep on moving. So thank you to everyone for tuning in, and I will let Gordon sign us off.
Thanks for watching or listening. If you enjoyed this podcast, please like, subscribe, and share so we can spread this educational content to others like yourself. Visit bitcoinbasics.help.
Disclaimer. Any content provided by CoinCompass is for educational and informational purposes only and is not investment, legal, tax, or any other professional advice. A qualified professional should be consulted before making any financial decisions. CoinCompass will at times recommend certain products, services, and technologies, but these are opinions based upon our own or podcast guests' experience and not endorsements. We take no liability for out-of-date or inaccurate information, software bugs, manufacturing errors, technology misuse, or issues involving third parties. Visit coincompass.com for more information, and please contact us.